Good morning and Happy New Year. I think we're finally able to say that now. I think the worst of everything with Dolly has gone past, and we're ready to start showing you all our plans for the van and van life in 2025. So let's jump in and I'll show you our plans. So here we are, and I think Redders has left it a bit of a mess for me. So before we do anything, I think we all need to tidy up a little bit. All done. So the first thing we mentioned was this kitchen. Yeah, as I said, I'm going to put the camera a little bit more on it and off me. So typical motorhome kitchen, you've got a sink. Well, you do need a big sink space. We do wash up in the van. We very rarely go and wash up on a site or anything. So yeah, we use this a lot. So we will keep a big sink, not this one. I don't like this one. And I'll tell you why I don't like this one. I hate the tap because it's got lots of little nooks and crannies, see? It's really hard to clean in there. I do try, but it's very, very hard. I don't like this thing because water always seems to pool in there. But other than that, the bowl is actually a fairly decent size. Then this, I mean, why do we need something so big as this? I hate it. See, look, where all the crumbs and grass and bits have fallen in. I've got to clean that all out now. That's actually, there's leaves there. I honestly don't know. But what happens is any dust or rubbish on there blows and goes in there. So I can understand why it's like this, because obviously with water and everything, if a pan bubbles over, then it's going to be pulled in here. It is a nightmare to keep clean. And as you can see, these have come loose. That, don't love that. It's all the bits, and you'll have to forgive us because obviously we came back from our last trip really quick and I have not cleaned this. Like I said, weirdly, it's a lot of grass and leaves. I don't know why. Anyway, that needs to go because I barely use it. I don't see the point in having a gas hob with 3 burners taking up all that room. Yeah, I know there's a glass surface on it, but I'm always really wary about what I can put on that. I'm scared of things falling out of here, falling on it, smashing it, and then having glass everywhere like we did with the bit that was here that's not there anymore. So, big plan. The carcass is all right. There's nothing really wrong with the carcass. It's the top we're going to replace. So the plan is take this top out, fit a nicer sink, and then get a board made for the top of it and a nice tap. I want a nice tap. Then this goes. And one of you pointed out, and you're quite right, don't fit an induction hob. Get one that you can move, a portable one, so that should we need to, we can cook outside. So that made perfect sense to us. And of course, you're going to have this whole area of clear workspace. This, we were thinking what we would do is instead of putting the partition in that was there before, we'd fit some form of shelving in there so that we've got places for things to go. We can put them in and they won't be so rattly. So that's the plan. I'm not entirely sure how this is fixed. But obviously because we don't have an oven, we've already taken half that away. that's just a cupboard. Then we've got gas. Now we know a gas engineer, so we're going to get them to cap the gas off there. So basically all we'll be using gas for is heating and water. And with the fitting of a diesel heater later in the year, or later in the spring actually, it'll just be for the water. So our gas should last us a lot longer. If we do want to cook on gas, because we have no power banks or some disaster has happened, we actually have a little portable gas cooker. So we're just going to use that. So we've kind of got everything we need. It's just going to be a case of seeing how this is fitted and how it's going to come out. So I'm going under. I've got my torch and I'm going to have a look in here and see what the fittings are and how difficult it's going to be to take it all out. Yeah, I tell you what, there's a lot of wiring up here. Yeah. I'm sure you can see up there in the back corner, just above the wires, that's how it's fitted. So that's going to be easy to come out. There's the gas fittings for the hob, so that's going to be for our gas man to sort out. And there's all the wiring. That looks like that's going to come out fairly easily. A lot of wiring there. The sink looks like a fairly simple change. The piping doesn't look like it's going crazy routes. Okay. And obviously these wires to here, excuse me, let me hit them with the torch. That's the water pipes. Which actually, since we've had this, Redders has changed the micro switch in the tap and changed these pipes. We have already done a little bit of plumbing work on this. And of course, this is what we call Big Bertha. And she is our, turn the torch off, our 2,500 watt all powers power bank. And that's what we use for cooking. We've shown you before using our Bluetti Charger 1. When we're traveling, we can actually fast charge it. So, you know, within a couple of hours, we can go from 0 to full on this power bank, which is absolutely amazing. And that's off the alternator running through the Bluetti Charger 1. We have talked about the Charger 1 before. I hate using this, but it has been a game changer. We were traveling with quite a few power banks. We don't need to anymore. We're just going to travel with 2 from now on, Big Bertha and our little Bluetti, because we can keep them charged really, really easily. And obviously, you know, we can use solar as well, but just a couple of hours on the alternator, brilliant, and we can get this fully charged up. That's fantastic. And of course, we're not sucking the power as we used to because we've ditched Starlink. What we've done is we're actually changing to we've got a SIM, and we're just changing to SIM only because we just can't be paying the ridiculous amounts that Starlink want for a monthly subscription when it's so throttled. We were just struggling. Every time we were watching something on the TV, it was glitching and stuttering and pausing. Every time I was trying to upload, and it was just taking forever and a day. And then I was clicking it onto my phone for the data plan, and it was going up faster than Starlink. So, you know, we have Googled, we have checked, and it just seems to be that's the way Starlink is. I know there's a few Vanlifers that have dropped Starlink, and we're one of them. So if you're in the market for a Starlink, I know I haven't particularly sold it, but ours will be up for sale. Okay, so that looks good. So that's something we're going to get on with very, very soon. We've got lots of work to do on the van, and, you know, a little bit of time to ourselves. And let me tell you what we've been doing. New year, and we are still plugging away at the languages, ready for our trips later in the year. Just want to thank Rosetta Stone for sponsoring this video. As you know, we've been learning languages with Rosetta Stone. Redders is learning German, and I've been learning French, and we have been doing really well. We're just slowly going through the app, picking up the language, doing all the exercises. New Year's resolution for me, I'm going to learn Spanish as well. You can take up the package and learn 25 different languages. As you can see, there's so many to choose from. However, we spend so much time in Spain, I was thinking it's great to learn French, but I think I also need the same level of Spanish as I've got in French. Rosetta Stone actually uses the same learning process for each language. It's a very intuitive way to learn. It's almost like a puzzle, so you don't actually feel like you're learning, you feel like you're solving, and then suddenly you realise, actually, these things have stuck. I've been getting on great with French. I've proved to myself that I can actually hold a basic conversation in French with a French person. And the reason I think that that has come on so well is the pronunciation.
On va à New York ensemble.
On va à New York ensemble.
J'écoute la radio seule.
J'écoute la radio seule.
La jeune fille mange seule.
La jeune fille mange seule. Ooh, it didn't like that one. Rosetta Stone will let me know if my pronunciation is good or completely off. As I'm learning Spanish, it's going to be a whole different style of pronunciation. If you go to the link in our description, you will find that Rosetta Stone currently is offering during January a 60% discount on the 25 language package. After January, the discount's going to drop to 50% in February, so be quick.
Good morning from a very cold, damp and wet Wales. So today it's yet another job on the motorhome, and the problem I've got to overcome today, which hopefully should be easy, is I drained the tank down just before Christmas, before the cold spell, and lo and behold, the drain bung broke. It was leaking a little bit, so I just tightened it down, but I think over the time it's gone very hard. So what I got to do now is fit a new bung. I tried to get hold of one from a company, a chandlery company or boat spares. They sent me one that should fit the 30mm hole, but it didn't. It was a little bit too small. That's about 23, and they claimed it went up to 32mm when tightened down, so that didn't work. They refunded that, fair play, and they sent me a free replacement, which was made of very, very thin brass. Now, brass doesn't rust, it just oxidizes, so it would have left a green haze in the water. To be honest, I put it in and tried it. Didn't work either. So what I'm going to do now is, I've got one from Amazon. This is a, they claim it to be, I think it's 28 to 32mm bung. It's rubber silicone, and it cost me about £7. I'll put the link up and the pictures. It cost me about £7, and let's hope it works. Otherwise, I'll be buying a genuine part, which is, I think it's 37 odd pound on eBay plus £7 postage. So it's 42 quid to replace your bung. Now, my best advice after this experience is, unless you're giving your tank a flush out, leave the thing in place. I had to drain ours down because we returned home very quickly. Probably in hindsight, what I should have done was just turn the shower tap on and ran it out the side. That way it would have taken it down and then no real worry of freezing. But nonetheless, let's see what we can do with this one. So, as I said, that's the one they sent. Yeah, so that was the bung there that broke. It snapped off. That's the one they sent to take care of the hole. Crap. And this is the one I've got now from Amazon. It's rubber silicone, and it goes from, I think it's 27 or 28 down there up to 32, so it should hopefully be just a case of boop, sticking it in there and job done. Let's give it a try. So in the Deathless, or this particular model, there's your tank, and you can see at the bottom the drain plug. I just put it in there just to stop the airflow coming through. That one wasn't going to work. It was pretty awful, to be honest. But what I'll do, I'll grab it out, and it's got ribs and everything on it, and you can see it's just very flimsy brass. It's not going to work. That's the drain hole at the bottom, as you can see there. Try and get it in focus. Along with, that was a new pump I bought as well. That's a twin impeller pump. Very easy to fit. It's just electronically wired, and that's the connections there. Just two wires. So if you've got a very poor flow in your van, there we go, let's focus. If you've got a poor flow in your van and the pump is not very good output, That one, that's a twin impeller. You can see the details on the side. I bought it when we were up in Scotland and we needed some help because the existing pump packed up. So I do carry an exact replica of this one in the van as well. But that's a twin pump, and can't remember the pressure. It's on the side, but well worth doing. 2 wires, job done. I know a lot of vans have got a more technical pump system, but this one is just very simple, and that was about 40 odd quid. There we go. So I've just shoved the bung in the hole. Let's stick a bit of water in it and see what happens. But that slid in quite easily. A very snug fit. Hopefully it should work. And if it does, that's a 7 quid solution rather than 40 odd quid. So I'll stick a bit of water in. Not much, just enough to cover the bottom, and I can take a gauge reading from inside and see if it's leaking. I ain't going to fill it up because we're not going anywhere. And secondly, it's still freezing, even though it's outside the home tucked down the garage. Best be safe than sorry. I think we've got some snow forecast this afternoon. Right, so I've got water in there. It's up to just under the T on the word twin on the water pump. So I'm going to go away now, have a cup of tea, give it a few hours, not with a cup of tea, that will be a long cup of tea, give it a few hours and come back and check and see if that solved it. Let's hope. And although it's a bit dark, I've got the torch on. Here's the other modification I did. When we were away on one of our trips, the frost valve was leaking quite badly. Now, it used to trigger when it got cold. If it's running, it doesn't really matter. But if we'd go out for the day, I wouldn't want to leave the heating on permanently. It was usually about, if you get down to about 4 or 5 degrees, these things would just drop themselves all over the floor. So what I did, I just put in a manual drain valve. You can see it, that's in the upright drain position at the moment. And that was about 22 quid. It came in a kit from a caravan shop again whilst we were on the road. The frost valve packed up. Now, a new frost valve was about 140 quid. And I thought, well, I can replace it and it's got its protection, but it did drop itself a little bit frequently. I know it's protecting the system, but we haven't had a problem since over the year. And that one was 25 quid, manual drain valve, job done. So let's go and take a look and see if my water level is where I left it. Bit of a mess in here at the moment. It's been a while in the well, cushions are everywhere, but there we go. Right, so it was just below the T if I remember correctly, and lo and behold, just below the T, so that seems to be successful. So there we go. That was a nice cheap fix. So I'll put up a little picture of the bung I've used. Again, always worthwhile just to check the size, but there we go. And it's also got the hoop on top, so if you do need to empty it, you can do, but you know, that's like 6-7 quid bung compared to 42 quid delivered. Happy days.
They said that just one look and I'd get caught too, 'cause there's something about